5.
They have like a diamond chess set.
Ooh,
you know,
yeah. That I would be terrified to play because if you like drop a piece, it would break.
Yeah, or cut you.
Right.
It would be like a hard, diamond. Just ow.
Yeah. Yeah, not great.
Just sitting in their foyer, and then Dobby had to dust it all the time.
Oh no. Yeah. I feel like McGonagall would be very, very good at chess.
Yeah.
I feel like Dumbledore, smart, fancy, good at chess. I don't know if Hagrid knows how to play chess. Would he just only move the knight piece because it's the horse? Like, would he just be like, wow, this is very fun. Look at it, hop around. Up 1, over 2, yay.
Now I would love to see Hagrid on Buckbeak as a knight character
That would
in like a live Wizard's chess. I
Ooh.
never would have thought they need to come up with a new Harry Potter Wizard's chess set.
Where it's Hagrid on top of Buckbeak.
Yeah. It's hard to see a weak spot, but I think you might have found... I don't want to see Hagrid go down this early.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously Dobby would know because he has to dust it, so he learns how to play.
Dobby knows how to play.
He knows how to play. Voldemort knows how to play. Ginny would probably know. I feel like the Weasleys know different games and stuff.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I like Buckbeak for sure doesn't know how to play. I don't think Buckbeak can
You
even
don't
pick
know
up the
that.
pieces.
You don't know. Maybe when he's in the pumpkin patch, he had like a starter set of chess, and he's like,
it's all like,
well, I'm here until the book says I'm not.
It's it's all like vegetables and produce. Like,
Yeah.
all the pawns are
The
pumpkins.
gourds are just there. Yeah.
Mhm. The rook is squash.
Buckbeak is actually a grandmaster at chess. It just never came up.
Right, yeah. So I think unfortunately Hagrid and Buckbeak are gonna go. I know.
Pixelated
Hagrid and scary plastic animatronic Buckbeak. Oh no.
I love that thing. Can I just say you're on the roller coaster at the Wizarding World in Florida, and it like bows to you like.
Right. It just also has demon eyes while it bows to you.
Oh
like,
yeah. It's true. Fair call.
Okay, so we've got 2 tasks down, and we continue. What did we roll? Okay, we've rolled a 6. Okay, great, another classic one. So they're in the forest, and they're all trying to hide out, camp out from each other, get ready, prepare for the next attack. And all of a sudden, a man, for some reason wearing a turban, runs in, and he screams, "Trolls in the area!" And it's an infestation of trolls in the forest. I know there's multiple type of trolls, so why not? It's all the trolls, mountain, forest, bathroom, all the type of trolls. In a troll attack, who do we think would fare well? Who would not fare well?
It's a shame we got rid of Hagrid.
I know. Would have been great. Could have been best friends with him.
He could have helped out all his friends, too. You know, I think that's one of those situations where the districts would work together against a common, larger threat.
Right. There are alliances that do take place. So if some of these groups want to team up, they could. Maybe we get a reuniting of the trio with Harry, Ron, and Hermione, since they have tackled a troll before. Maybe they do it a little less haphazardly as they did the first time around, but I feel like those 3 at least would be pretty well suited to conquer a troll attack.
Dobby and Winky are safe.
Yeah, they're good.
That's a theme we're gonna have, I think, coming up, is that house elf magic is rumored to be at least very, very, very powerful.
Yeah, they can just be like, and just bounce.
Yeah.
Have fun, guys. Later.
No, totally. Molly and Arthur. I was gonna say pretty much everybody that's been through school could probably at least handle a troll.
Right.
So we're looking at the students there, and like what even?
Yeah, because now we're gonna be in an interesting spot here. As far as like powerful wizards, I feel like Voldemort's going to be just fine. Dumbledore and Kingsley are going to be just fine. They'll have the style. Remus and Sirius are going to be okay. Again, trolls, I feel like Luna could be set. The one I'm a little worried, are Molly and Arthur going to be okay? I love them. But the only like true... I guess we see like Molly be really good here. They do the big defense spells. She says, "Not my daughter, you bitch," to Bellatrix, which is very cool.
Yeah.
But we don't see like as much like action scene-y stuff with them. But I feel like some of the other people I think McGonagall's going to be fine. She holds herself well in a duel against Snape. It's a tough one.
I think that if Molly and Arthur were to go down in this round, it would be during an act of protection for one of their kids. How many kids do they have in this game?
They've
Ginny's
got a lot.
there, Ron's there, Fred and George are all there. So I'm going to say that would be a situation where, again, they're not dying, so thank God.
Right.
Thank you for changing those rules. But yeah, like maybe
this.
the troll, as not smart as trolls are, maybe that they would still nevertheless get the upper hand somehow. They are still a big giant giant hulking monster with a very large club. I think one of the children, one of the Weasley kids, would be, trapped unexpectedly or something, and they'd need to get in there
That's great. A heartfelt moment.
take one for the team.
Yeah, and that's where, that happens in the Hunger Games. You have some, groups working together and tributes happening. So, okay, I think that's really nice and sweet. And they're just going out with style to protect their, all of the important children.
They were never in it to win it. They were just, there to support.
Yes. Okay. Well, sad to see them go.
That's the last time we can ever pull that heartwarming shit.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay. All right.
Okay.
We're whittling it down, and we're going to continue along and see what our next challenge is. Okay. I've already rolled that number before, so I'll roll again. Ooh. Okay. Here's a very fun one. So, again, all the people are getting ready. What's the next task? What's going to happen? And all of a sudden, in the distance, they hear a very faint and then in flies
Super Mario?
Yes. Woohoo! In flies a jester, all dressed in jester garb, and it's Peeve the poltergeist doing various pranks.
Oh my god.
These folks now have to survive an onslaught of pranks from Peeves the poltergeist, criminally not ever seen in the Harry Potter movies. Obviously, Fred and George are just fine.
They're fine.
If anything, they start helping.
If these teams have to battle Peeves the poltergeist and Fred and George teaming up.
Right.
Okay, all right. That helps. That's interesting. You just never know. Peeves is so unpredictable. Like, his jokes that he thinks are funny aren't necessarily funny, but he could still do some damage if he was really trained. He throws things at people's heads all the time.
I think that's what's going to happen. I feel like for any of the things, like maybe you get hit with a water balloon and it's not a big deal, or you step on a whoopee cushion and he laughs. But if someone's going to get eliminated from this round, he's going to drop an actual anvil down and be like, haha, I saw this on a Muggle TV show.
Or something.
Right,
It's a shame Filch and Mrs. Norris aren't playing, because I'd be like, this is a perfect time to take them out. Yeah.
Not well suited. Weirdly, I don't know that Draco and Lucius would fare well against it, because I feel like they'd be weirdly yelling at him.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, how dare you ruin the integrity of the game with these stink bombs.
I think Lucius would be personally offended by Peeves' existence and spend all time just being like, you shouldn't exist, and don't you know who I am? And Drake will just be like, I'm going to tell my dad about this.
Right. Oh, he's right here, but I'm going to tell him.
I'm going to tell him. Yeah.
No, I feel like, I think that's a good. I feel like everybody would hold their own. They either have experience with Peeves or with pranks and all that kind of stuff. But I think Draco. I mean, Draco doesn't do well with. I mean, he got turned into a ferret and just absolutely got his shit wrecked by Moody.
Yeah, he doesn't, the recovery time's a little slower for him on pretty much anything. He's kind of like Harry in that, when in a duel, he's only as good as he can think to be, and it just doesn't come up as often as it does for Harry, so,
And he doesn't thrive in a silly nature. Draco needs structure and the ability to say that his father will hear about this. So
yeah, I agree. He wouldn't hold with any nonsense.
Yeah.
And would be kind of unmoored by it.
Yeah, he'd be shaken. So I'm going to say Draco and Lucius, unfortunately, gone.
But what would the world be like without luxury furnitures?
The district is still pushing it out, and we can all, when we try to get past IKEA, and you're like, what do couches cost outside of IKEA? And you go, what? That's too many commas! They're expensive.
So we've lost home goods. Oh, should we do that thing at the end of
where we do
the night where
they
when the
send
cannon
off
goes off?
Fireworks in the shape of whatever their major export is.
Yeah. So we've lost home goods, Molly and Arthur.
Yes.
We've lost luxury furnitures in Lucius and Draco.
Right. We've lost lumber in Crab and Goyle.
The big loss.
Big loss. We lost produce in Hagrid and Buckbeak, which is...
Why were they produce? I have to ask.
I was trying to... Hagrid, he makes cakes. He's got dragon meat and stuff. He's got the pumpkin patch.
Cakes. Okay, he has a garden. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
Felt like food. So the only food left is Sirius and Lupin with chocolate. So, I mean... I don't know.
Okay.
We do have things we can eat, but it's okay. The districts aren't gone. Just their representatives are now teleported to the audience. So it's okay. It's okay. All right. So we're going to continue on and see what the next challenge holds for us. Oh, okay. Again, all the people waiting to see what's next, they start to hear some fluttering, like the fluttering of wings. But it's not big, flappy, floopy wings. So it's not a thestral or a bony pony. It's tiny, little, annoying wings. And it's a lot of them. And in flies, much to the dismay of Gilderoy Lockhart, watching at home, bragging about how he's totally vanquished these beasts before, and it's definitely been okay, and it didn't go all horribly wrong. It's a pixie infestation, and they all start flying in all creepy like. I don't know if anybody played the Harry Potter Pokemon Go game, the Wizards Unite one.
Right.
You have to fight a lot of pixies, not pretty creatures to deal with. There were many reasons why I stopped playing that game after roughly one day. But the amount of like angry pixies going like meh all the time, pretty high on the list of why that game. Are you pulling it up? Do you still have that on your phone?
No.
Okay.
Oh, no.
I'm
not checking into my local Wizards. That actually closed recently.
Oh, they actually shut the game down? Or,
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the server stopped because it was not well trafficked.
No, did anyone stick with it? Was anyone playing? Resounding silence from the audience.
That's a shame. I liked the art style.
I thought it was going to be great.
Experience.
I loved Pokemon Go. Remember how the world was perfect during Pokemon Go and it has only gotten worse since?
Yeah.
It's only gone downhill from Pokemon Go. 2016, just all bad. Just no. The glory days when the biggest thing we had to complain about was people crossing the street like this on their phone, not looking both ways. That was the biggest gripe we had. Jeepers, creepers, I miss it. Anyway, pixies are all here. How do we think people are going to fare against pixies?
We haven't yet really talked about Voldemort or Peter Pettigrew at all.
No, we have not.
And if an 11-year-old can take them down, or a
Ooh.
13-year-old, or a 12-year-old, maybe they aren't hot shit. Maybe Peter Pettigrew would either drag Voldemort down, they'd be distracted.
Yeah, I don't trust Peter Pettigrew to really hold his own in a high-stress situation.
Yeah.
Voldemort, what's interesting is that we only ever see him fight people one-on-one, and even when he does, not a great track record. Because, at best, he ties Harry in Book 4, and he very much loses to Harry in Book 7, and then that's about it.
Well, one-on-one, what you said made me think, he's always crying, Avada Kedavra.
There's too many pixies!
In the time he's getting those words out, 5 pixies could have him up by the ears.
Yeah.
Just
right.
completely destroyed.
Right, and he doesn't take really part in the Hogwarts battle of Hogwarts part. He's kind of off on his own, menacing, putting, going all Amber Alert and infiltrating everybody's ears at the same time.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So I feel group hectic situation. He might not do very well. He likes particular situations that he set up. The duel for Harry was he basically planned an entire party. He set up what's an ominous location. Oh yeah, I'll do the portkey thing. I'll have all of my people stand around in a circle, but they can't interfere.
Yeah, I didn't have a year to plan this, so that would be a thing. Also, this would be a situation where you're really Voldemort down by pixies. What are you guys thinking? But I'm thinking the other teams would all have funneled the pixies there. They would have figured out a way to team up because Voldemort's pretty obviously bad. Pretty obviously he shouldn't win this.
Right.
So they gotta work together. I think the other teams would have kind of made it so that would have been hell.
I also like that thought because at this point, this could be where the teams all work together and everyone realizes, hey, we're all good guys left except for Voldemort and Peter Pettigrew. This is Sirius's chance to finally get revenge after his 12 years of waiting.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe they all team together and they do kind of like how Nagini was in the Super Monkey Ball and then they put that over Snape's head and then it was just a Nagini attack. Maybe they do some sort of spell where they get they trap Voldemort and Pettigrew inside of a magical sphere, and then they get all the pixies in there, and then it's just attack zone, and everybody else is safe, and they're all just watching Fred and George get popcorn,
Plus, if anybody's ever going to be annoyed to death, it's Voldemort.
Yeah, that's true.
Just
Yeah,
be
yeah,
I
correct.
can't handle this. Yeah.
Rookwood. So, Okay. Big Rookwood fan in the front. So, okay. They are gone. The pixie swarm is the undoing of the greatest dark wizard of all time. I love it.
It's never what you'd expect.
Right, yeah.
Right? Like a disarming charm kills him.
Exactly.
What?
It's perfect. Yeah. It's perfect.
Pixies.
Okay. All right. Already rolled that number. And then let me just... I should have it. There we go. Great. Oh, cool. All right. Okay. This is a fun one. So the contestants go back hiding in the forest. And let's say like night falls because the magical gamesman can change the setting. So it's nighttime. We hear some owls and different night, crickets and magical lightning bugs because they have those. And it's nice and quiet. People are trying to see what's going on. And then you just see a bright light come from one side, and then a bright light from another side. And then there's more bright lights and more bright lights. And then in unison, you hear a really loud horn noise. And what flies in but a bunch of evil Ford Anglias. It is an infestation of the Weasleys' flying car. And much like Cars the movie from Disney, the headlights look like eyes and the grills look like mouth, and it's all angry-eyed, evil-looking Ford Anglias. And they're here on the attack.
This may be my favorite challenge that's amazing.
Thank you.
Evil Ford Anglias.
Evil Ford Anglias have attacked. Lots of them. It's a swarm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, Fred and George, gonna be just fine.
Well, they have some experience with the Ford Anglia.
Right.
More than anybody else, and Ron and Harry could maybe, but...
Maybe. They didn't do great with the Ford Anglia. They had a tough run and then a good run when they were running away with the Ford Anglia, but they've had their history.
Ginny's good on a broom. She could outfly it or work some stuff.
Right.
Hermione's not good on a broom. Could be very supportive.
That's true. Now, here's an interesting thing. The card is not a magical creature, and the card is not a giant snake. So I think Neville and Luna are at a disadvantage here. I know. I love them too. That's what makes this hard. It only gets harder. As far as like expertise there, might not be okay with the flying car situation.
Is this the only pairing of wizard-born people, like exclusively wizard-born people?
Maybe, yeah.
I'm trying to think who would get their driver's test and actually pass a
That's
car
true.
thing. It's
Yeah.
like Hermione could do that. Her parents would even take her out for like the test drives that you gotta do.
The other thing that you can consider, though, if we want to look at another group, is that car is definitely a Muggle thing, but a lot of these wizards have to deal with blending in and understanding. A lot of these people take Muggle studies in Hogwarts, and maybe they teach them about cars, but the people who don't go to class would be Winky and Dobby.
No, they're safe. They're safe. I'm not ready for that yet. What about McGonagall and Lee Jordan? Lee Jordan commentates Quidditch.
Yes, he does. He is very funny.
McGonagall loves Quidditch.
Right.
But that's all to do with brooms.
Right, yeah.
What would they do with this evil card?
Right, and I will say, McGonagall, very good in a duel. She really handled the situation with Snape very well. Such a cool fight.
Very well.
But the other time we see her in a fight is when there's like a bunch of people going on and they all hit her with Stupefy at the same time. And thankfully she makes it out okay, but that could be proof of not working out super well in like a group. Same kind of like Voldemort with a bunch of distraction going on as opposed to an isolated thing.
Yeah.
So maybe not the best. And also do we ever see Lee Jordan do magic? Or does he just like pull pranks and make fun of people? Which are great, important life skills.
No. He's awesome. It's largely by association. I don't think we see him really. Maybe in the battle. Maybe in the final battle. He's shown
He
doing
could have been
something
an
like-
alumni that comes back, maybe.
Yeah. But I'm kind of thinking that maybe McGonagall only. But this is the heartwarming, like, our our friend and our teacher, our
Sure.
head of house for many of these people, goes down, and they're like, oh, loss and love, and tell your loved ones you love them and all that stuff. So it's
Yeah.
like a heartwarming moment of like, we got to rally together, we got to get through this, even though it's all a battle royale, and they all have to.
This is the thing where, like, when they get eliminated, so I think they're going to be gone. When they get eliminated, like, all the remaining students who really love the two of them, like, band together, and they're just like, oh, no, like, we got to do it for our favorite teacher who should have been the headmaster earlier on. She clearly had a better hold of things over Dumbledore, who was intentionally manipulating teenagers rather than, like, telling them what's happening. And then also our friendly Jordan, who's very funny. Okay, so I think we're going to do one more before we break. We'll do one final little pairing, and then in Act 2, we'll see who fends off to win. I also realized I've not come up with a prize for winning the Hunger Games.
It's a good thing they're fictional characters, and you don't need to give them something.
Exactly. All right. Oh, okay, great. This is a fun one to end. And very thematic, given who just took place as the past attack. So we've fended off the evil Ford Anglias. Everyone is still in the woods. It's sunrise. It's the break of dawn. It's really nice. Very pretty sky out. The magical birds are chirping. Are there any? What's a magical bird from Fantastic Beasts and where they're located?
Well, like owls are kind of magical.
Okay, yeah, owls. Yeah, oh, because the owls, right?
There's
yeah.
a flooper.
Yeah.
There's a swooping evil.
Yeah, there's the sad song.
Occamy.
One. Yeah, Occamy. There's the fox is here. Yeah, maybe Hedwig is there, like yelling at Harry, like, "You write a letter for me to send." Birds are chirping and sassing Harry Potter. But then people are noticing a rustling in the leaves. And it's not just a rustling in the leaves. It's a rustling in the branches. And it's not just a rustling in the branches. The entire trees are moving. Uh-oh, every tree is a Whomping Willow and we didn't recognize this? Everyone's in a field of Whomping Willows. And Ron and Harry just fought off the car and they go, not this again!
Okay, 2 teams are safe immediately. Well, 3 teams, because they know the secret to the Whomping Willow. The little knot that you gotta push to freeze it.
Yes.
That's, of course, Harry and Ron. Remus and Sirius,
Yes.
OG, they're very familiar. And Hermione, by association. So they're safe.
They're safe.
Can we drag? Can we click drag at this point?
Yes. Ooh, here we
So these guys are safe.
Today's episode brought to you by Google Slides.
So they know the secret. Dumbledore probably knows the secret, and Dumbledore and Kingsley could actually probably handle a lot of Whomping Willows at once.
Yes.
They are
They're
gargantuan
cool.
guys. They are the ones to beat.
Now, here it does get tough. It does get tough at this point.
Fred and George handed... Sorry.
I was just going to say, Neville, it's a plant. He's fine. Like, Neville's like, oh, yeah, the Whomping Willow, right, yep, totally.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Fred and George handed Harry the map of all the exits to Hogwarts. They know of the Whomping Willow,
But they didn't tell him, I don't think they know the thing.
About the secret.
Right.
Right, but I'm suggesting that was such a terrifying kind of thing that they never even approached it. They
Okay.
did not want to deal with it. This is their weak spot. This is their kryptonite.
Okay.
Because they didn't even want to go there. They're like, yeah, there's this secret passage and there's a Whomping Willow above it. We're not going to use that secret passage. We got 12 others.
Yeah, okay.
So they never come face to face with this.
Right.
And by the time that they do, maybe it's too many large willowy fists.
Dang. Well, it's okay. And I think what could be a fun thing is, like, maybe they go out, because, they're not going to die, so it's okay. They're going to go out doing what they love so that we have a nice send-off for them. And maybe Ron in class, Ron gets out of there okay, but maybe, as we've seen Ron with Whomping Willows, maybe he breaks his leg again. And maybe Fred and George are too busy making fun of Ron that they don't see the Willow Whomp just come from behind them and just knock him clean out. They make some sort of tree-related joke. They say something like, oh, we wish you good luck, but we didn't mean really break your leg. And then, boosh! They just get swatted by a Whomping Willow, and they get sent off, and that is unfortunately their demise. Or not demise, they just get teleported. And then, they're watching, and they're laughing about how silly it all was. So they're totally fine. And that's where we're going to leave it for Act 1. The stunning conclusion in Act 2. So what you can do during the intermission we're going to do is a whole bunch of fun stuff. Let me just pass the mic over to Editing Mike. How's it going, everybody? So for intermission, there's a couple things you can do. First, you can get freshen up, powder your nose, get some more food and drink, whatever. There's also merch over there in the there-ish area. We have Abby helping us out selling merch. We've got the remaining t-shirts that are left. As you know, the merch store, they just shut it down and sent me a giant box of all the merch. So as I've been bringing it along the tours, some of the more middle sizes are gone. So all that remains currently are extra smalls. So if you fit into an extra small, you're in luck. Or maybe you want like a pillowcase or something for your pet. I don't know. There's that, but then there's also stickers and pins and posters, which are all one size fits all. So you can get that. And then if you're on the stream watching and you're like, oh man, I want to be able to get merch during intermission, we do still have digital stuff on the Potterless merch store. And if you use the coupon WizardCoupon, you can get 20% off anything on the merch store. We got digital stuff like the wallpapers and old live streams and stuff like that. So you can check out that. The other thing that you can do, whether you are here in person or at home at the live stream, you can send an email to potterlesspodcast@gmail.com because we're going to be doing a Q&A at the end of the show. So send an email, put something in the subject line about like, I don't know, go Bulls, or I miss Anthony Rizzo. Why did the Yankees take him from us? Or I love Malort, Chicago, like anything that it makes it clear it's from the Chicago, or if you're at the stream, be like, I'm on my couch, something, make the subject clear that you are asking a Q&A for the live show, and then for both of us, we will answer questions at the very end. But yeah, we'll be back in like 10, 15 minutes or so after a brief intermission to see who survives the HANGRY GAMES.
I do want to make one more announcement. Bookmarks.
Right, yes.
Our podcasts are free at the merch table.
Yeah, if you want some free Muggle.net bookmarks, go get them.
Do you guys all read?
Do you guys like books?
Well, odds are you can use another bookmark. They're free. Go check it out when you check out those amazing extra small, tiny shirts.
Yeah! See you all in like 10, 15 minutes or so. Whee! All right, what's good, everybody? All right, everybody have a fun intermission. Good, glad to hear it. Okay, so.
I'm on pins and needles. I do not know who's going to shake this out and win.
Yeah, so first, I had a very fun intermission in that I learned there's stuff wrong with the live stream. So it was stressful. Mixed reports on if people saw the first 30 minutes or not, or if the first 30 minutes were not recorded. So if you're watching at home and you missed the first 30 minutes, hi! Hopefully you, from context clues, figured out what's going on. I've also backstage made a quick bit.ly. If you go to bit.ly/HANGRY GAMES, you can see the PowerPoint presentation just in case the screen is not up on the stream for the final little bit here, or if you just want to see the pictures up close and stuff. But yeah, we're going to do the final bit here. Just in case if you didn't see the first 30 minutes, we're doing Harry Potter Hunger Games, and don't worry, the people aren't dead. They just got magically teleported out, and we're going to keep going. Hooray!
So who have we lost?
That'll be good for anyone who did miss the first 30 minutes. We have lost, or remaining are Harry and Ron, still here. Fred and George, gone. Neville and Luna, still here. Crabbe and Goyle, gone. Draco and Lucius, gone. Hermione and Ginny, still here. Voldemort and Pettigrew, gone. Dumbledore and Kingsley, still here. Hagrid and Buckbeak, gone. Sirius and Lupin, still here. Lee and McGonagall, gone. McGonagall, am I right? She's not dead. She's also fictional. Dobby and Winky, still here. Arthur and Molly, gone. Okay. That's where we are at.
Awesome.
Now, because there are only 5 challenges left, we can remove 1 die. And now we can... I like that people are like, ooh! Now we can see what the next challenge lies ahead. Okay. Ooh, all right. So, our competitors, they're feeling weary. They've gone through such intense struggles. Deep breathing. What could possibly be next? Well, the thing that is next is potentially the scariest creature that could ever exist, because people hear the sound of explosions and the swoosh of pincers, and it's an infestation of blast-ended skrewts. The coolest name, most terrifying thing ever. I don't know if you've been on the new Hagrid ride in Harry Potter World.
Yeah.
There may or may not be a blast-ended skrewt on there during the ride, and it may or may not be nightmare fuel.
The only thing good I'll say about the blast-ended skrewt, it smells good.
Oh, that's good.
On that ride, they
I-
pump
I-
out this like very sweet smell. It's a very weird experience.
See, I don't remember because I was too busy going, ah, at the blast-ended screw.
It is a very terrifying creature. I think everybody's dead.
Yeah, Hagrid isn't here. Nobody's
They're
survived.
just Hagrid's not here to control them. They are a creature that never should have been born into this world.
Yeah, if Draco was here too, that probably would have been a good one to go.
Get him out at?
Yeah, that would have been a good
Yeah.
one for him to get absolutely wrecked.
see.
I feel like Luna's going to be okay. It's
Luna
still a magical
again will
creature,
be- yeah.
especially because it sounds like one that shouldn't exist. I feel like the more magical and outlandish they get, it's like that's how better prepared Luna is. Like Crumplehorn, Snorkax, yeah, sure. Blast-ended Scroot, that's a thing. So I feel like she'd be okay.
Yeah.
Again, I feel confident in Dumbledore and Kingsley, powerful wizard. The ones who I'm worried about because they didn't pay enough attention in class, Harry and Ron. Don't feel very confident in their ability. And I know that Harry still there were blast-ended Scroots in Task 3, but did he actually fight it, or did he just
I think
he just kind of
corner.
ran away from
Yeah.
it, which isn't
Yeah.
a bad strategy. But in the HANGRY Game situation where it's an arena, how long can you really make do with that?
Yeah, and there's only so far that book knowledge can get you about blast-ended Scroots. They seem to be understudied, so there wouldn't be many books about how to subdue them. So I'm worried about the books district as well.
Yeah, Hermione and Ginny.
But Ginny's really good at the hand-to-hand stuff, and so is Hermione. And
Right.
I'm kind of thinking maybe.
All right, Harry and Ron, they're undoing. If only they would have paid more attention in class.
It wouldn't have done them any good because it was Hagrid's class.
But he did have blast-ended Scroots in the class.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I don't know, but Ron got severely burned, if you'll remember.
He did get severely burned.
I think that's
even
when
more
that
proof of why they get absolutely squashed.
happens. Wow.
Wow, so the blast-ended Scroots are the undoing.
You still have
the
some of your mimosa poured out for Harry.
Yeah, I'll pour it out
The hero.
into my throat. The people here are very nice. I don't want to destroy their, mess up their floor. Thanks for having me, Cedar Winery. Anyway, we continue. We move on to the next thing that takes place. Oh. Wow.
How many times is that going to happen?
Well, I've only rolled 1s and 6s, which are the only two numbers I can't roll for. Okay, here we go. Now, it's going to be another situation like when the Games Masters in the Hunger Games use fire to make people go to a particular area. So they lead them out of the forest, and they're in an area where there seem to be a lot of chairs, but they're made out of natural things, so rocks and wood and stumps and all kind of stuff like that. And then in appears a giant blackboard, and down from above slowly floats a very old ghost. And he lands down
Oh, no.
and he says,
You didn't.
He says, "Welcome to the History of Magic class. My name is Professor Binns. And the special challenge here is that whoever falls asleep loses." So the challenge is, don't fall asleep in Professor Binns' class. Hermione, she's good. But the other people, I don't know.
I don't know that paying attention in class was one of the Marauders' strong suits.
I was gonna say.
If
I
it wasn't
don't
Transfiguration, which obviously they used to their advantage,
Right,
and dueling,
yeah.
I think.
Right.
History of Magic is kind of the class they all slack off on.
I feel like Winky and Dobby would weirdly be into it. It would be cool for them
They
to
would
actually
kind of be from
learn
a wizarding
things.
perspective. That'd be really interesting. Yeah.
Dumbledore clearly, if he's hired Binns, he either likes Binns or has some sort of ulterior motive for Binns. The two ways Dumbledore hires somebody.
I feel like, that's a good point. I feel like also Dumbledore and Kingsley could have a way of blocking their ears without being detected. They know the higher level spells. Of just
Yeah. And Luna, I'm sure, would find it fascinating. Neville's a big old nerd, so he would be fine. I really think the class clowns don't make it out of here. I think Remus and Lupin doze off. They're also older, so they're more likely to fall asleep.
That checks out, actually.
All right.
Yeah, wow.
Defeated by the boring lecture of Professor Binns, the Marauders, as we all predicted.
That's why Remus's classes were always so interesting and practical.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
preventing himself from falling asleep.
Yeah.
It's exhausting being a werewolf.
Yes, it just all these people hating you all the time for no good reason.
Yeah.
You just want to teach people things and give them chocolate bars.
I'm glad they just got teleported away.
Yes, they just got magically poofed away. Yeah, they had the least harm out of everybody. They just got poofed away once they fell asleep. So the
And
two
they
of
got
them
a
are
nice
fine.
nap in.
Yeah, love a good nap. They just woke up and they were in the audience and they were like, beans. Okay. I'm really good at rolling 1s and 6s. Okay, here we go. So now, they're led away from the makeshift classroom that took place, and they hear just these big thuds, just thud, 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 thud. And then they hear a voice saying, "You thought everything attacking would be the same, but could I interest you all in a game?" And it's a Sphinx, and they all have to answer Sphinx riddles. So the teams all have to answer the riddles 3 or however many of the Sphinx. And if they get them wrong, of course, as we all know, the Sphinx just like slaps you or whatever. No, you were wrong. Bah! It was a block of ice and it melted. That's how,
Can I just say, if I were in the Hangry Games, this is where I would absolutely, if not sooner, the Sphinx riddle. Yeah.
You're not a big riddle guy?
I'm not a Ravenclaw, despite Blue. I'm more of a Puff. And who are the Ravenclaws, though? Because Luna
Luna.
really knocked it out of the park when she had to show Harry into the common room.
Yes. So I think that's a good call.
She's in good shape.
I also feel like Hermione would be okay because we saw her do a logic puzzle basically in book 1.
That
with
was
all
her
the different
superpower
potions.
at the end of book 1.
Right. So I think they would be okay. So it would come down to, man, this is sad. I don't think the house elves would be very good at riddles. I don't think they'd be very good at them.
But could they brute force it? Could they use their magic?
What's funny is this started as like my bullshit game, and now everyone's like, no, that's against the rules, Eric.
House elf magic is very special and very unique. I feel like they could.
If we want to go like a different explanation there,
Yeah.
What is a riddle if not like an indirect way of getting information? Dumbledore thriving. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let's just say they're all
could
strong candidates.
Right, but everyone is a little more strong.
Sorry to see Winky and
I will
Dobby.
say, and this is fun that it's Father's Day. Shout out to my dad, who when we would be waiting for pizzas to arrive at Di Lorenzo's Pizza in central New Jersey, he would tell us lots of riddles. So he told me the classic, like, the twin brothers at the fork in the road. One always tells the truth, one always lies. So shout out to Joel. Those riddles have gone a long way. If a Sphinx ever wanted to attack me, I would be just fine.
My dad just did those like verbal puzzles, like Pete and repeat. We're sitting on a fence. Pete fell off to his left. You say repeat, and he does it again. And it's just like, where's the end? It never ends. It's
Right.
a loop.
So fun at parties, your dad.
Yes. He's known for that. Yes.
I'm sure your dad's very lovely. Okay, we're down to the final 3. Getting intense. So
Is there music we can play for the final 3? Like,
it's the final count, but we're gonna stop so I don't get sued by Europe. All right, Europe is the band, not the country. So let's see. Already done that one. Okay. This is fun, given who's gone and left. Okay. Again, fire makes people move into a particular area. They come out of the trees, and in the clearing, it's just this big open area. But at the very end, there appears to be some sort of stage. And on the stage, we see one of the 2 bands that exists in the wizarding world. There are 2. We see the Weird Sisters. And the Weird Sisters are playing, I don't know, Hop Like a Hippogriff or whatever the one song that they have is. And now that I guess she's eliminated, it could make sense. She could even come back. But what has to happen, our favorite scene from the movies that wasn't actually in the book, everyone has to learn to do the dance from the Yule Ball. And it's basically turned into So You Think You Can Dance. We have a panel of judges now.
Ooh.
Maybe it's like Rita Skeeter. Snape is Simon Cowell. And
Yes.
Yeah.
That tracks, yeah.
and then Howie Mandel is there because he's on every show. Like, he's on every game show that exists. He's still there. He's clearly a wizard. So the remaining trio, they all have to do like partner waltz dancing, and whoever does the worst waltz gets eliminated. who do we think does well in the Yule Ball dance challenge?
Listen, we know that Neville practiced real hard to learn that dance, and you know what he did. He did a really good job.
And Luna, if anyone in existence ever more embodied Dance Like Nobody's Watching than Luna, I don't think that person exists. She's number one on just I've always said that like there is no bad dancer. The only way to dance poorly is to not dance. Like the only bad dancing is sitting off to the side. Get out there, it's great. I will always yell at people if they try to like make fun of someone like, oh, look at this guy dancing. Like, no, you're not allowed to make fun of anybody that's dancing. You're allowed to make fun of people that are sitting just because they want to dance. Like if your legs hurt or something, you get a pass. But dancing, it's anyone making the attempt is great. Luna would be having a blast. She would be feeling it. Dancing is like 85% confidence anyway. I think they'd be phenomenal. The other two. Hermione doesn't seem like much of a dancer. Ginny, maybe, but if we're going movie Ginny, we've seen how awkward she is in partner-based scenarios.
Well, movie Ginny's, actually, that's a good point. I feel, but you know what? Like, they went to the Yule Ball, they were teen girls, they danced it out, they can do the hippogriff like nobody's business.
You're right. Hermione danced with Crumb, and you know that Hermione practiced to stuff it in Ron's face.
She read it all in a book, those books that have the footprints with like, the little things. And you learn, like,
no, I think that would be very, very good.
Here's the thing. Dumbledore and Kingsley both have very long, flowing robes.
Ooh, good point.
And you know that's not great for dancing. You're always stepping over somebody like, sorry, headmaster. You know, like, oh, sorry, Kingsley.
I mean, no, that's a good point. When I was doing my first dance with Kelly at our wedding, I feel like 90% of my brain was dedicated towards don't step on her. I like you nodding because you've got through me and this guy. It's like it's 90% of it is like, well, I don't want to step on her dress because I know how much the dress cost, and I also don't want to like mess up the dancing. It's also white and my shoes are dirty, so
and also Dumbledore's beard is like at least knee level.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now
Dumbledore's beard is getting tripped on during the partners dance, and I think they're out.
Like you have to admit, Dumbledore's got style, but maybe it didn't translate into dancing. You're right. Okay, we've gotten down to the final two. Let's make the images nice and all big. I mean, not surprised that Ginny and Hermione are in there. Neville and Luna? Yeah, fun. Oh, I didn't drag that diagonally, so that went whack. Oh, because I didn't link them?
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh. Let's see. This is the very important part.
Yeah. Oh, you did it.
Yeah, Matt Lewis's abs are bigger now. Okay. I have to this live show is interesting because I have to make sure I'm entertaining for the people here, the people at the stream, and then the people listening afterwards. My brain's in many places. Okay, the final two. There is only one final task, and it is the most terrifying of the ones. So it's funny how this all worked out.
How that worked out.
This is great. So they're already in the big open field. We've got Neville and Luna. We've got Hermione and Ginny. They're getting ready. You know, it's a nice, like, whoever wins, we're happy situation. Like, both great groups here. Now, the grass starts to, like, burble and bubble, so they kind of run away. And it magically transforms from grass into water. And it's not just water, it's a lake. And it's not just a lake, it's a very ominous lake. And you can see some dark figures within the water. And what's this? It's the Inferi Pond from Voldemort's Creepy Cave of Fun in Book 6. And I would like to imagine that, I don't know, maybe it's like an exact recreation of what you had to do in Book 6. Like, they get trapped on like a tiny little island. Yeah. There's the big punch of death juice, which I guess is just like vodka. Or no, it's Malort. It's just a big pit of Malort.
That checks out. The one time that I have had Malort, I was on my knees going, oh, take them, not me. Oh, God.
So, yeah.
Or no, it was the other way around. Anyway, I begged for death. That day, I begged for death.
So it's a big tub of Malort. They got to do it. So they basically have to go through the entire challenge that Dumbledore and Harry went through in Book 6. Who do we think would fare better in this challenge to win the HANGRY Games, which the ultimate prize is a cute little participation trophy that says you did it?
We should arm our contestants.
Oh, this is where the sponsors can come in. So in Hunger Games, the sponsors like drop in
Yes,
things.
little parachutes of stuff.
So
Somebody would send Neville the Sorting Hat. He would pull out of it the Sword of Godric Gryffindor.
Perfect.
So I
Love
like it,
that.
but it's not great against inferi.
yeah, because you need fire, right?
You kind of need fire.
Kind of need fire.
But Luna might have that horn that she has.
Oh, the Erumpent horn, the ones that can
horn with the
explode.
explosive.
Yeah, I got it. Xenophilius Lovegood uses all of his Quibbler money.
Yes. All of
to
it must be there. It's a
he-
very high selling publication.
He definitely not a money laundering scheme. He brings in an Erumpent horn, so they have the exploding Erumpent horn at their disposal.
And a sword.
And a sword. Ginny, I feel like Fred and George could find a way. They would have some sort of like pepper imps, right? That's the candy that you can take and then it like blurts out fire.
I think that's right.
I feel like maybe that's Ron likes candy. Fred and George like a good bit, like they love a candy that you eat and then messes with
watching
people.
on the sidelines, they're like, "Oh, Ginny, you need these."
Right,
And
so
it's,
the Weasley Fund gathers together and they send them a bunch of like hyped up, souped up pepper imps, like super intense, where they can breathe fire. Hermione, do her dentist parents send something? I don't know. Like, Harry could send a gift to Hermione.
I love the idea of defeating inferi by performing dental work on them.
Okay.
Here, come here. Because I am terrible. Like, some of that stuff is real.
Teleports in, it's
Scary.
just like that drill. And just like,
Okay, a dental drill. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Hermione's got a dental drill. Ginny can spit fire. Neville's got the Sword of Gryffindor. And Luna has a giant grenade.
Which you can only use once.
Yes, right. So they've got all the things. Okay, so first off, who do they make drink the death juice out of the two?
Neville.
Okay, Neville sacrifices to do the death juice. Oh, that's bad. He's got the way more tragic stuff going on. Yikes. Okay, but I feel like he would take one for the team and
He would take
go
one for
for
the
it.
team. His liver is probably real strong.
Right.
He can,
Yeah.
You know.
I feel like Ginny would also take it. She'd be like, look,
Oh,
I've been through
yeah.
way worse with Fred and George and having to live with Percy Weasley my whole life. So I feel like she's gonna be okay.
All right, that works.
Right. So they're doing it. So that would leave Hermione drilling off the inferi and Luna just getting ready to throw a grenade and then hopefully, get them the water so that the other two can fight.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel Hermione is a very powerful wizard. But she did forget that she was a witch in book 1 when put in a high-stress situation.
She doesn't do well under pressure.
Doesn't necessarily do well under pressure. This is high-pressure situation. Luna and Neville clearly did very well under pressure.
Good for
He
Neville.
was getting actively negged by Voldemort.
Yeah.
And he beheaded a giant snake.
Yes.
Pretty good stuff. He's got familiarity with the sword. That feels pretty powerful. Ginny, I do think great under pressure. Good trash talking and stuff like that. But I do think Hermione's a bit of a weak link here.
Yeah.
Just given her skill set. So I feel like I might give the edge. Like whoever just went, wow. And I feel like it's Neville and Luna. But what are your thoughts?
I think that, first of all, we should have given them more long-range weapons. Only Luna has the grenade, which kind of like, you don't want to be too close to that when it goes offshore. Mm-hmm. I was thinking, really weird occurrence. If this is allowed or if it breaks the rules, you let me know.
Oh, the crowd will let you know.
But Neville, again, very much the hero, very much the Gryffindor hero, would go down swinging.
Oh,
He would,
it.
his sword really doesn't do much against the dead bodies. They're
Right.
pretty, but it's gonna, he's gonna attract their attention, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go so far as to suggest he lures them into a pile and then Luna throws
explode.
the. On,
At least
but,
he could kind of try to
but
corral him.
Hermione with her dental drill, she is just a sitting target. That's not
Yeah.
really gonna do that. I think Neville and Hermione go down.
Okay. Oh, all right. And then
Across.
it's like
Because Ginny's there, she's chugging the pepper imps or whatever and
Right.
spitting fire and
Right.
spitting fire, flame throwing these guys. And Luna, when there's only a group of them left, Luna throws the thing. But I think, again, it might break the rules. But
all right. Okay.
I think those are our two finalists.
Okay. Oh,
But
so-
if we have to do one group of finalists, I
Yeah.
think, Luna and Neville would.
right, I think
Probably.
I like this scenario. I think we're going to give it to one of the teams because
Yeah,
it
okay.
could be something where like that maybe those two go down, but then, Ginny's going all pepper and Bonham, and then Luna throws the big explosive, and like maybe Ginny gets caught on fire.
Well, and the other thing is, Ginny's most terrifying weapon is her bat bogey hex.
Right.
Have you thought about this? What actually happens to somebody like
often
your boogers turn into bats, fly out of your nose, and then attack you?
Not fun. Not
what
fun
a terrifying thing! But I don't
worst.
know that it would work on dead people because there's not enough like mucus and
famously, we all know dead people don't have
boogers.
boogers. As we all learn.
That's not one of the
in
things
health class.
It's not one of the things that keeps growing once you die.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that Ginny would also be kind of depowered.
Right. Okay. So we'll just to get the audience in the mix to make sure we're going to make the right call. We'll turn over to an audience applausometer, and streaming audience will try our best to hear. It's like Blue's Clues where they like tell you to say something, and you're like, yeah. Or Bob the Builder's like, can we build it? And you're in the living room, you're like, yeah, we can. Unless you're like a snarky sixth grader, and you're like, no, we can't. I'm 12. So if you think that Ginny and Hermione, one of the two, would fare off and win the HANGRY Games, make some noise. Okay. If you think that Neville and / or Luna would win, make some noise. All right. And there we have it. The winners of the HANGRY Games. Neville and Luna, make some noise. All right. What a fun time.
Both very, successful kind of underdog stories.
Yeah.
Really.
And you know what? That's what they love in the Hunger Games. They love the drama. They love the story. They love a rags to riches situation. And that's what we've had here. And that's what we've got there for the HANGRY Games. But the show is not over yet because we've got Q&A. Folks have sent in questions. And now I'm going to pull out laptop number 2, which is my laptop that's already logged into my email. And we can see what folks have asked the two of us. So, okay, just going to pick this first one at random. It's from a longtime listener of the show, Kelly Beckman Schubert.
Your wife?
Yeah, my wife.
Hi, Kelly.
Her question, the subject of the email says, Live Show Q, Wife Edition. Happy Father's Day, Doug and Joel. Doug is Kelly's dad. And all dads, she puts in parentheses. Oh, this is cute. Kelly says, what is your favorite or silliest memory with Joel? And then I guess to you, what's your favorite / silliest memory with your dad? Let me actually, I keep a running list on my notes app of funny Schubert family stories to make sure I don't forget any. And I feel like with my dad, this is a pretty good one. So when I was maybe like 7, 8-ish years old, maybe even a little younger. I was growing up in New Jersey, and we used to go visit my uncle who lived in Massachusetts near like mountain areas and stuff. So we would go skiing. And my dad was teaching me how to ski, and my dad is very good at skiing. And he was teaching me, he like going down the bunny slope, he's going backwards, he's teaching me, and he's trying to teach me the all fated concept, we know of, French fry, pizza, etc. To know if you want to go fast, you want to brake, whatever. And my dad is trying to teach me all the different ways that you can go slow and control your speed. And me, as a tiny kid, is like, Dad, I don't want to go slow. I want to go fast. And the way that I expressed this to my dad is I said, quote, I want to go zooming down the mountain, was my refrain that I kept saying to my dad. And he was, trying to teach me to go side to side, to be a little slower, all that kind of stuff like that. While he's trying to teach me this, he like has his skis to where I'm not supposed to be able to ski past him. And I just say, screw it. And I just go into like straight French fry mode and tuck. And then I just go over his skis and I go zooming down the mountain, as I said. And my dad turns, and he's told me this after the fact, turns and goes, that little shit. And quick hops around, skates down, chases me, and then with his pole just like sweeps my leg out from under me so that I stop, so that I don't just like run into a bunch of people because I'm 7 and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And I like fall down, of course, I'm 7, my bones are made of rubber, you just bounce up, and I'm like, that was fun. So yeah, I think that was a fun story with my dad.
While you were telling that story, I could picture it crystal clear. Even down to the look on your face, like,
I've done it. Yeah, how about you and your pops?
God, what was the prompt? Favorite
or silliest memory?
Favorite or silliest memory? Okay, a lot of the jokes that my dad tells are NSFW, so I probably can't repeat any of them. They just always were, he's got a fun sense of humor. It's honestly a lot of, if I could get sentimental, the little things. My dad, good time guy. Hello, Terry. Happy Father's Day, Dad. He really, over the years, has instilled in me a good sense of humor and a good sense of music, and he's just a good time guy.
That's awesome.
He did the best with the cards he was dealt, and he's good. I talked to him for about 20 minutes this morning before the show.
So sweet.
Just saying, so it's honestly the little things. I couldn't name one big thing. Again, NSFW. But yeah, no, honestly, good guy, and I'm really glad he's my dad.
Amazing. Awesome. Look at this heartfelt moment here at the Potterless Show, a podcast well known for its heartfelt moments. Now, this next email comes from Chloe, where the subject line is, Eric is classy AF with his martini. So you're...
that's done.
Yeah. Your mimosa has become a martini.
I'm less classy now.
Uh-oh. I've got mine. Don't worry. I'm bringing it out.
Okay. We'll be classy together.
The question from Chloe is, if you had to pick a partner for the Wizarding World Hunger Games, who would you pick and why? So I guess for us, if we had to pair with any magical Harry Potter character, who would we want to team up with? And it's a tough one. It's a tricky one.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of someone who could maybe offset my skills well. Maybe... Hermione's very book smart. She's read everything. I feel like I could try to offset. I'm done improv comedy for years. I feel like I'm quick on my feet. She's got more of the research element in it. So maybe we could be kind of like the, more of the planning and more of the not planning. Kind of that's how Kelly and I tag team traveling. She loves spreadsheets, and I love someone else doing spreadsheets. So
it's a perfect
we
match.
kind of thrive where she does a lot of the planning stuff, and then I'm better at navigating on the spot. So maybe someone very planning heavy like a Hermione would work out well for me. Who would be your ideal pair?
Gosh, there are so many good options. I think Ginny's a huge contender. I'm a big Ginny fan just because she's super powerful, super badass, and I'm a little bit in love with her. But if I could go way off the wall, a guy I want to know, doing the HANGRY Games together, having a partner, you learn a lot about them and your limits and stuff. And there's a guy who I want to know more about in the Harry Potter series than we've ever gotten a chance. And his name is also Eric. He is the security wand weighing guy at the Ministry of Magic in Book 5 when Harry goes in for his trial. And Mr. Weasley knows him, so he must be a good guy if Weasley's like, hey, Eric.
Yeah.
And I read that in the book. I was like, oh, hello.
Hello to you,
I totally
too.
wanted him to come, but many people are like, why didn't we ever go back to the Department of Mysteries? And I'm like, why didn't we ever go back to Eric's desk? Who is this guy? So I think it's a tag team. It's double Eric action.
I like it.
It's me and Eric.
Synergy.
He does have a last name, which I don't think is in the books. I think it's given to him either in the credits of one of the movies, or extended EU stuff.
Right.
Munch. So Eric Munch.
Eric Munch.
Skull. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's a double Eric thing.
Munch Skull is a
Just
fun
because-
little tag team name.
We're going down in the third round.
It's funny, that whole preamble, I thought you were going to talk about Charlie Weasley, and I was like, I should have picked Charlie Weasley.
Charlie is
It's a
also,
really
again,
good
he's
answer.
versatile, and he's more the action sports guy, and I'm less. But I think that it would be Eric and Eric, because I want to know more about that guy. And I feel like if we're in a ring together, we're going to learn more about each other.
I like it. That's fun. Okay,
Yeah.
This is a very different question from Annie. It's from Annie the Ravenclaw and Tia the Ravenclaw, who strongly identifies as a Hufflepuff. So you're like a Ravenclaw in denial. But Annie has suggested doing Marry, Fuck, Kill with bread, noodles, and rice. Now they have clarifications here in parentheses. So bread includes pastries, pizza, and then in all caps, all bread. Noodles includes pasta, Asian noodles, and dumplings, and then rice includes just rice.
Okay. How do you want to do this? We each pick
Let's
a kill?
each pick. We'll start with our marry. So who are you most committed to in the long term? For me, it's rice. I make rice very often with a lot of my meals. If you do brown rice, it's healthy for you. Rice can be versatile where it's just on the side if you're doing chicken or veggies or whatever, but also rice being a part of curry or you can do fried rice. You can have rice with stew on top of it. I feel like it's super versatile, and I eat it all of the time.
Wow. Okay, I definitely, for Mary, I have to go with bread.
Okay,
I have to get
valid.
You can do too many things, Mary. You can have donuts, pizza, all the best things. I'd probably switch to a gluten-free alternative at a certain point for health, but bread is bread is bread. And
especially if tortillas are in the mix, it's a very good call.
Come on, yeah. So bread I'm marrying.
Yeah, okay. damn it, I don't want to kill any
This
of
is
these.
a good one. This is a really good one.
That is so tricky. All right, so let's go with kill, the one that we were like fine to just like get rid of.
I'm killing rice.
You're killing rice. Okay,
I'm
okay. Big anti-rice crowd here.
There is a huge anti-rice crowd here. I can never cook it right. There's always one hard kernel that tastes like plastic. I don't have an Instant Pot. I've never learned. I'm sure I can be taught, but if it were right now and I had to, like, I'm determining the fate immediately right now, rice has just not served me well, or I haven't treated it correctly.
I think what could change your tune is it's something that I think it's like criminally underrated when people talk about like, oh, what's the best kitchen appliance? It's like, oh, you definitely need a fridge. Like, you definitely need an oven. You know what you definitely need? A rice cooker. Like, rice cooker should be way high up there. I remember one of my first roommates was my buddy Edward, and he's Asian, and he had like the nicest rice cooker ever. And in classic like Asian rice cooker form, it like sang a song when the rice was done. And it's always like a weird song. Like, it'll do like Yankee Doodle went to town, and you're like, okay, the rice is ready. Like,
My dishwasher does that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was at Brandon Grugel's place, and he got like a rice cooker from Chinatown, and I want to say it was like a patriotic song. Like, maybe it did like the Star Spangled Banner or something. Like, it was like, why is this the rice is ready song? But I remember I would, pre-living with him, I would struggle with like making rice in a pot or whatever, and like always screw it up. And he had a rice cooker, and I was like, oh yeah, I've heard about rice cookers. I was like 22, and I was like, what do you do? He's like, you put the rice in, you put the water up to the line, and you hit a button. I was like, what the fuck? So maybe that could change your
Yeah, I always get the ratio wrong in the cups
Right.
and the water and the thing. And
you just pour it in, you flip a switch. God, I love my rice cooker. It's great. I'm gonna kill bread, which is so hard to do, but it's really just because I can't kill noodles because of the diversity. I am most sad to lose pizza above all else in the bread thing. I'm not like too worried about sandwiches and stuff, but I'm very sad to lose pizza, but I do think I have to get rid of bread. And then I guess I'm just, making love to noodles, which is fine. Like, it's probably okay, like, in the health department. Like, for me to be marrying rice, like, having rice on them more often, that's good. Just having the flings, like, every now and then, it's like, yeah, like, I'll be bad and then get pad thai, I wouldn't get pad thai. I always get the more fun thai option.
But I don't have the more fun Thai options. But the pad Thai I love. Yeah, I mean, having really good noodles is like having really good sex. Mm-hmm. So
it's important. You need
I'm
it, but
doing that
maybe
with
not sustainable if you have it every single day.
Right, yeah, I agree. So I think that we handled that very well.
There we go. We've done it. Okay, now here is a question from someone who emailed on the live stream. This is from someone in their coming to you from my couch in the Netherlands is the subject. So this question, let me see if it's from, okay, great. They've added a phonetic pronunciation for their name. Lykel. I don't know if there's a sound that quite matches the IE sound in English. Maybe legal? Well, hello, Lykel or Legal. Thank you for your question. Their question. Now that you've finished The Sea of Monsters and are therefore 2 books into the Percy Jackson series, if anyone's unaware, I'm doing a Percy Jackson podcast called The Noose Olympian. Woo! I'm very biased, but I think it's very good. They continue, if you'd have to choose between your favorite Harry Potter book, I'm assuming it's 6, which it is, and your favorite from the Percy Jackson, one of the first 2, which would you rather reread? And then it just says, thanks for making it possible for your international fans to enjoy the show. As far as a reread, I think probably at this point I would pick book 6 of Harry Potter just because I know the full story, and rereading, being able to like see some of the seeds planted, I think would be more fun. I do think I'm enjoying the Percy Jackson books more, but it's not to say that like I wouldn't enjoy rereading them, but just because I don't know the full story, I feel like I wouldn't get the best experience out of it. So I think at this point in time, probably I would reread book 6. If you had to reread any Harry Potter book right now, what would be your top Harry Potter book to reread?
I think that the one I've probably read the least besides 7 is 4. And I'm kind of hankering to reread. Again, with Triwizard Tournament, the expansion of the world, I remember going straight in from book 3 into book 4, and I said after I finished book 3, yeah, this is my favorite book. And after I finished book 4, I said, you know what, I liked that just as much. Mm-hmm. But I've been going throughout the years saying book 3 is my favorite, book 3 is my favorite, but I forget why book 4 I liked just as much. So
okay, that's fun. Yeah. I like that. I feel like book 4 is an underrated favorite book. So that's a fun pick. Okay, this next question comes from Kelsey Gillespie. The subject is Chicago deep dish pizza, and then 3 pizza emojis.
Oh, God. This is the real Hunger Games up on stage.
The question says, I'm getting a puppy soon. Do you have any Percy Jackson or Harry Potter related names for a female standard poodle? What does a standard poodle mean? Like, okay. Big. Okay, so like as opposed to like micro poodle. Okay, I know nothing about animals.
This isn't going to be about a question about deep dish pizza?
It's not.
Thank God.
Plot twist.
Okay.
No, good, because then I wouldn't
I don't have a preference. They're all great.
Yeah.
Okay, but standard...
The follow-up question, very quickly, does Eric have Hufflepuff socks? Do you have Hufflepuff socks?
I do have Hufflepuff.
There you go. I do not have, those are very fun. I do not have Hufflepuff socks. I dressed like the Chicago city flag. I went with all red and light blue. Very intentional, so I just have red floral socks. If you want to go easy street, you could go Gladiola, because that is but that is a male poodle in the Percy Jackson books. But a poodle name, Fluffy would be fun, because I'm sure the poodle would be very fluffy, and then it would be fun to be like the giant three-headed dog. You know what actually would be a great name for your female poodle? Cerberus. That would be fucking tight. I think having a little cute poodle named Cerberus would be awesome. I think that would be my pick. Or maybe something like you could even call the poodle like Seb or, Burrus. You could nickname it something, but I feel like Cerberus the poodle would be very funny. I don't know if you have any other
No, I think that's a great one. I think that's fantastic.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. This email subject was Malort rules, and it's from Joe.
And we're deleting this message right now. Do not spread lies, my friends.
So it says, my name is Joe. I'm a proud Hufflepuff. Happy Father's Day, Juneteenth, and Pride Month. Yes, shout out to Juneteenth and Pride Month.
And Pride Month.
Glad to give those shout outs. Glad we got that in. I'm sure J.K. Rowling's having a great day. First things first, Malort goes well with citrus drinks, specifically either grapefruit or radler. Interesting. I'll have to try that. In a couple of weeks, I'll be vacationing in New York City. Are there any suggestions of what to do that are not normal touristy things? Be a big theater lover and already seeing plenty of shows. But what is good off the beaten path? All right, so I'll say what my favorite off the beaten path thing is. There's a lot of parks in New York that are very good. Obviously, there is the Central Park, which is in the middle. But there's some really cool parks that are underrated. There's one called Roosevelt Island, which is an island that does have a big memorial to Teddy Roosevelt. I think it's one of the Roosevelts. No, so maybe it's FDR. Couldn't tell you. Because when I go to Roosevelt Island, here's what I do. They didn't put him in a wheelchair. It's just a big bust of his head. But Roosevelt Island is very cool because you can take the subway there, or you can take like a big tram there, which is fun, or you can take the ferry there. So all fun means of transportation. And then it's just like a big park. There's like big fields, but they also have, some places to eat. They've got like basketball courts and tennis courts and other stuff that you can do. They've got this big they've got the big memorial there. I don't think there might be a tiny zoo on it. I'm not positive. But then, big open field. The big thing, no one goes there. Like everyone in New York goes to like Central Park or Prospect Park in Brooklyn. Nobody goes to the Roosevelt Island. It's very empty, and I think it's a very underrated park. There's also another park nearby called Hunters Point South, which is very good. So I would say go to parks. They're underrated. It's very good. And now all of you here or watching at home that are going to go to New York, my favorite off the beaten path thing. Do you have a favorite New York thing to do, Eric?
I have a couple of favorite New York things. No, New York is a great city, and I grew up a lot closer to there than I am to here. But I'm just making sure that the place I'm recommending is open.
Ah, yeah. Ooh, like a food off the beaten path one.
And it's, I assume, so like, not the mega touristy things to do.
Sure, yeah.
But something that you would recognize if you were standing outside of it.
Yeah, I think the High Line is a good call for that. It's like it used to be a street. It used to be like a railway, and you can walk along it. It's very cool.
Just like the 606 in Chicago, if you guys.
Oh, cool, fun.
Yeah, but cooler because you're in New York. Taller buildings. That's
what makes a city cool. Your favorite place in the world? Dubai.
I've never been to Dubai. I would not.
Tall buildings. Anyway.
I'm in love with the Chicago skyline, okay? Yeah. I just want to set the record straight. Cafe Lalo in the Upper West Side.
Okay.
It's the You've Got Mail restaurant.
Oh, that's fun.
And it's actually ballerina themed. It's meat free.
Oh, cool.
And it has been for decades. It was like they were on it before it was cool, kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. And it's just this nice little place.
Great.
And if you're willing to like venture out of like NYC and go to Brooklyn, Which, that's off the beaten path a little bit, but it's just one train. It's really not that bad.
One train that you're on for 30 hours. Anyway.
There is a place in Clinton Hill called, well, do you remember my F, Marry, Kill, I married, or dough, bread?
Yes.
Bread?
Yes.
There's a bakery, a donut place called Dough.
Okay.
In Clinton Hill.
All right.
And they make big donuts that are as big as your face. And they are amazing.
Love that. Face-sized donuts.
And it's in Brooklyn. So if you want to take the train, see there's a lot of different, NYC is this huge melting pot, and Brooklyn, there's many areas that are just so nice to see, and there's so fewer people there because it's not Times Square.
God, if you learn anything, just don't go to Times Square, guys. Anyway, next question. This email subject line is Chicago on from Carolyn. Carolyn S., I love this. If you could pick one Wizarding World treat to turn into an ice cream flavor, what would you pick? And then in parentheses, anything you thought was Wizarding World related counts. So I guess I could pick treacle tart. Thank you. Love the clarification there. So any Wizarding World treat that you could turn into an ice cream flavor, what would you pick? It's a very good question with a lot of potential options. I feel like a fire whiskey one could be very fun because you get it would kind of be like I like spicy desserts. I think it's very fun. So if you had like a little cinnamon spicy ice cream, that could be fun. It's kind of like chewing Big Red, but it would be in ice cream form. I think that would be very unique. And then if you've got the mix of like the cool of the ice cream and the heat of the fire of it, I think that could make a very cool ice cream flavor.
I think that's fantastic. That's a great call out. Thanks to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter theme park, there is a butterbeer ice cream, which is very, very good. So I don't have to say butterbeer. But there is not, to my knowledge, a pumpkin juice ice cream. They probably have the patent to do it. Like, just do it. I want pumpkin juice ice cream.
Okay, pumpkin juice, a fun one. Here's a question from Yenti from the Netherlands. Says, from my desk in the Netherlands. Hi, Mike and Eric. Would you rather have Percy Weasley as your brother or Dumbledore as your dad? Really good. They also then sent a follow-up question. I'm glad they did this. They said, Mike, did you just call Europe a country? I realized I said country when I meant continent. Thank you, so I didn't have to do editing.
It's also a band.
Yes, I was referencing the band, and I think I said Europe the band, not the country.
So wait, before we answer this, is there a reason why you wouldn't want Percy Jackson? And I have not read the book.
Percy Weasley.
Oh, Percy
Wild
Weasley is
opposite ends of the spectrum
That's
for the
so
two
interesting.
Percy, right? Yeah, do you want the worst brother or the most weird, cryptic dad ever?
I don't want my dad using me as a pawn in some nefarious scheme.
Right.
That would be awful.
Right. As much as I despise Percy, this is the weird brother version of the girlfriend, I can fix him boyfriend. Dumbledore is a weird dad. I don't know. It would just be weird. I think communication is important in a lot of relationships, and I like that my dad always keeps it straight with me. If I had someone that was being all weird, and then it was oh, I did this thing to teach you a lesson. I hope you learned it on your own. Whereas
also,
I feel like I could try to get Percy to be a regular person. I could
agree
take
with
Percy aside and just be stop being such a little shit. Come on.
If Dumbledore were your dad, would that make your other dad Grindelwald?
Oh my God.
Hey,
then I'd
there's
be
some
why
real
do you
considerations.
keep being played by a different actor every year, Dad?
But can you go back to Colin Farrell,
Right,
Daddy?
you had it. You had it right there. It would have been so much easier.
Percy is a brother.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Percy is a brother.
Yeah,
My
Weasley or
goodness.
Jackson. I'm sure he's a cool guy.
Okay, all right. Here's a good question from Margaret, where the subject line is "Go Chicago," and the first line, all caps, "Sup, fellas," which I really enjoy.
Sup.
This is from Gretty, Austin, Itzel, and Matt. So 4 people combined to send this email. First of all, Hagrid and Buckbeak should have taken the whole thing, but I digress. Question. We know you have to go up north for tomorrow's show, but what is one thing on your second trip to Chicago you haven't ever done or want to do? I feel like if I come back to Chicago, I think what I would really like to do is maybe call up a friend and then convince that friend to take their dad's Ferrari and then pick up Kelly in the Ferrari, and then we drive to a fancy lunch place called Chez Louis, and I pretend to be Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago, so that we can get seats. And then we go to a Cubs game, and then we go to the art museum.
I was going to say, would you like to check out any of the culture?
Yeah,
Chicago's got a lot of culture.
right, yeah.
Stand and stare at some paintings
Stare
for
at
a
some
while.
paintings.
What does it all mean?
Right, and then I think if a parade comes through, maybe I hop on the parade. And
You would absolutely do that.
Yeah, I'd lip sync a couple songs. Then maybe we, find out something wrong happened with the car. My friend destroys the car. The principal is here. He's terrorizing my sister for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
For anyone that's very confused, I have recapped the plot of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. And it all takes place in Chicago. And this is all just to make up for the last time I did a Chicago show. One of the questions was, what'd you guys do today in Chicago? And we genuinely answered the question.
Oh, no.
And then Johnny and I were back in the hotel room, just chilling and just getting ready for bed. And then I was like, no, I had a great answer. Fuck. So this
Mike's
is all
redemption.
My redemption. And on this redemption, we will end the show. So thank you all so much. First, let me give a big round of applause for Eric for being a lovely, lovely guest. So
Thank you very
amazing. Again, shout out to all the dads on Father's Day, everybody. Shout out to everyone for Pride Month and Juneteenth, all the wonderful things that have conglomerated on this day. I want to give a shout out to Abby, who is helping out with merch, for Scott, who helped out with sound, Jess, who helped out with all of the things doing the show. Everyone here at City Winery has been a delight, so that is fantastic. Hopefully everything with the stream worked out. I don't know what's going on there. We tried our best. If it didn't work, I'm very sorry, and you should be getting an email about a potential refund, but thank you all so much for coming out, really. And give yourselves all a round of applause, too, for making it out, coming to the show. The only reason that this happened is because the last time I was here in Chicago, so many people came that City Winery was like, hey, do you want to come back? And I was like, yeah, I had a great time. Let's do it again. So thank you all so much.
Tip your waitstaff. Make sure that they're well taken care of.
Yeah, if you want, the merch will still be there. You can get it on the way out. I very much appreciate it. But thank you all so much. Hopefully I come back to Chicago again. Maybe we do a Percy Jackson show for the newest Olympian. Okay, that's very good. I will take note of your applause and tell my tour people, I think they'll buy tickets. We should do it. But thank you all so much. This has been a blast and a half. And until next time, as they say in the wizarding world of Harry Potter, right before they make a poor decision to do shots of Malort, wizard on! Thanks so much for coming out, everybody! All right. Let me just clean up the gap. Oh, there's the battery. One final thing. Did anybody come from really far away for the show? Okay, you. Where'd you come from? New York. Holy shit. Okay, did anyone come from farther than New York? Vegas. Is that farther than New York? Yes. Okay, you? The UK? Did you come for the show? For real? Holy shit. Okay, here's a Harry Potter little notebook thing as you came from the farthest away. So thank you for coming. The UK for me? What the fuck? That's wild. Thank you so much for coming. All right, now, goodbye, everybody.